What's up? Welcome in. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Jonathan, lifestyle and relationship coach. We're going to be doing the first half answering this question, topic of discussion today. Are we getting back together? It's probably one of the most common questions that I get when I do our Ask Any Questions part of the broadcast, which is the second half of the broadcast. So I wanted to shed some light on this question in particular. Are we getting back together? And how you guys can actually reconcile those good relationships, not so much the toxic ones. First thing is first, though, let's go ahead and get a sound check. If you guys could go ahead and shout out your city, state, or country in the comments. I just want to make sure that it's good. It's a good volume for you guys. Nothing's coming over kind of strange. So just shout out your city, state, or country. And let's double tap that screen. Let's get the likes up. I'd like to get the likes up to about 1K so we can get this out to as many people as possible. So double tap that screen, but shout out your city, state, or country as a sound check. I just want to make sure that my sound is coming over loud and clear. But the topic of today is, are we going to get back together? And there's a lot of things that go into understanding the anatomy of upsets and how you can reverse the upsets. So city, state, or country, where are you guys watching from? Shout out your city, state, or country. Let's see. All right, North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. Thank you very much. We got Tampa in the house. Shout out Tampa. Okay, that's good enough. All right, thank you guys so much. So, let's go ahead and get started here. Are we going to get back together? There are some things that you need to understand when it comes to the anatomy of your relationship. And first thing is first, the first thing that you have to really understand is what happened. What happened in the relationship that caused things to spiral downwards? And when I say what happened, I don't mean look at what your partner did wrong. Look at what you did that was wrong. And I feel like that by itself, it's so easy to point out somebody else's issues. It's really, really hard to put the mirror on yourself and look at your own issues. It's really, really hard to take accountability in anything really, but in relationships in particular. But that's the first thing you have to understand if you're going to A, move on, or B, reconcile a relationship, is you have to know what you did. You have to know what you did and have the understanding of what you did and why you did those things. That's first and foremost. If you go back into the relationship doing the same thing that you did the first time, which ended in the relationship falling apart, you're just destined to make the same mistakes. So that's the first thing you have to understand, is to take accountability for the things that you did that were incorrect or wrong in the relationship. Number 2, you have to understand why things are tense. So what you did, first off, what happened in the relationship, and then number 2, why are things so tense? What is the harm that your actions created? Why are you blocked? Why don't they want to talk to you? Why did they walk away? Why did they leave the house? What was the harm that your actions caused? It's really important for you to understand that, because understanding the harm that you cause will allow you to start to make up the damage. And this is the thing about reconciling a relationship that a lot of people don't understand, is you have to make up some damage. A lot of times relationships end and one person's like, well, I need an apology from him. Or I need her to be better. I need him to be a man. Right? A lot of people don't understand. You have some onus in this too. You are just as responsible for the relationship falling apart as they are. So you have to understand the harm that you caused so that you can make up the damage. If you don't make up the damage that you created in a relationship, you will not reconcile with any success. You'll just be headed for the same result. So, once you understand what happened, and once you understand why that caused so much harm, now you can repair the relationship. And what do you need to do to repair the relationship? Number one, you need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with your partner. Excuse me. Honest with yourself, honest with your partner. Every time you try to lie your way through things, you're going to get the wrong result. Every time you try to lie your way through things, you're going to get the wrong result. You need to be honest with yourself and honest with your partner. The truth will always end up in a better result. Even if that result is, okay, this isn't going to work, but at least we can be civil now. Number two, you have to take accountability for your actions. Not point the finger and expect them to do things. You need to take accountability for your actions. So the harm that you caused, you need to make up the damage. You need to put some action in order to let your partner know that that harm that you caused will never happen again. And this takes time. Don't get me wrong. This takes time and effort. Yes, it takes time. It takes effort. It's not comfortable. It's not easy. It's not fun. Making up the damage that you caused is not fun. No, community service is a form of making up the damage. It's not fun. But it's necessary if you want to reconcile. So you need to take accountability. That harm that you caused, you are responsible for mending the bridge. Okay? And then there needs to be healing and seeking a third party for help. There's a reason why you did what you did. There's a reason why the relationship fell apart. You cannot be your own counsel. You cannot be your own counsel. Because when you're your own counsel, you just care about your thoughts about things. Human beings are social creatures. We do better in groups. We make better decisions when we have group efforts. The quality of our products come out better. The quality of our children come out better. The quality of our thinking comes out better. There are so many different cliched ways of saying these things. Two heads are better than one. A group can lift a piano where one person can't. There's so many. And in human life, we keep creating ways to stay social and connected with each other. That goes all the way to healing as well. When you break up with somebody, you sitting by yourself and saying, oh, I'm focusing on myself. No, you are ignoring it. You need to focus on yourself with a third party, with a counselor, with a life coach, a relationships coach, a marriage coach, somebody who can help you sift through the damage and repair it. You cannot do that by yourself. Not with any success. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many podcasts you watch or listen to. You need third-party help. I get that we're free thinkers, and society today, it's trying to help people become isolationists. You need third-party help. Because remember, you're trying to reconcile. It's good to get another perspective outside of your own to help you understand certain things, give you a different way of thinking about things, give you different recommendations on how to go about doing things. This is good for you. You can't do that by yourself. The most you can do by yourself is go, wow, I never thought about it that way. The application just goes right out the window. It goes right out the window. Because you're still your own counsel. So when it comes to healing, you need third-party help. You need somebody else outside of your relationship, not your parent, because your parent's going to be biased. Not a family member, a third party, somebody who has no skin in the game to help you out with your healing. And by healing, I mean you sit down with them. Maybe you do it virtually, but you sit down with them and you talk about those painful moments, the things that went wrong in your relationship, and you work through every painful moment. Why did that cause you so much pain? How could you have handled that better? Are you being ridiculous? Was he being ridiculous? Are you doing too much? Is she doing too much? And you need to get that honest feedback so that you can grow. There's no growth without understanding your faults. This is why you need a third party, somebody with no skin in the game. Your friends tend to be biased towards you. Your family members tend to be biased towards you. A third-party counselor, a third-party life coach, they're not biased towards you. These are the people who can help you grow the most. If they're good counselors, if they're good coaches, they're going to tell you exactly where you're incorrect. And they're going to help you with, this is how you correct that. These are the application steps. Do this, this, and this. Improve your thinking. Here, get that understanding as to why you think you're worthless. Get that understanding as to why you think all men are dogs. My therapist was a little biased towards me. Then you need a new therapist. Like there are thousands of therapists out there. And that's one reason why I opened up my life coaching company. And this is why I got trained in relationship coaching, marriage coaching. I found that there are a lot of therapists, just like you said, Shay. There are a lot of therapists that are biased. And they haven't healed from their own stuff. So when you're trying to heal, don't get somebody who's just going to tell you what you want to hear. You need to get somebody who's going to push back on you a little bit so that you can grow. There is no growth without understanding your faults. There's no growth without understanding your faults. It's in correcting our mistakes that we become the best versions of ourselves. Not in sitting alone and saying we're focusing on ourselves. It's in correcting our mistakes that make us the best version of ourselves. Okay, so let's say you make it through that. You've been honest with yourself, honest with your partner. You're taking accountability for your part in this. Now it's time to communicate with your partner. It's time to communicate with your partner. And this can be tough. Honestly, this can be tough. You need to talk to your partner honestly Let them know you want to reconcile. See what they say. If they're open to it, they'll say something like, yeah, well, I don't know. If they're saying, I don't know, if they're saying, ooh, kind of being unsure, the door is open. If the door is not open, they will say no. If you are blocked, it's a no. But if you guys are still on talking terms, the door is open. The door is open. Are you willing to do what it takes to walk through the door and not have it end like the last time? Because that's why they're unsure. They're still in quite a bit of pain from the last time. And up until this point, nothing has been done to reassure them that the last go at this isn't going to happen again. This is why you need to communicate. You need to understand from your partner where things went wrong. Where did he or she believe that you betrayed them? And this is where your third party can come in to play as well. Maybe you guys go to couples counseling together, couples coaching together, and have that third voice or that third party in the room. Excuse me. Have that third party in the room to listen to the way that things are going. Listen to the two of you have, a minor spat and be able to step in and go, okay, this is what I'm seeing. So that you guys can iron out the confusion and iron out the wrinkles and understand each other. I can't tell you how many times when I do my marriage coaching for couples who are on the rocks and we're trying to salvage the marriage, how many times I've sat and listened to a back and forth exchange between a husband and a wife and just sat and listened. I just listened to what they were saying. And when it got to a point where they were either silent or that it was starting to get a little out of control, I would kindly interrupt and I would say, okay, so from your end, ma'am, or Mrs. whatever, this is what you're saying. Is that correct? She says, yes. And I go, okay, from your end, sir, this is what you're saying. Is that correct? Yes. And then I kind of have to translate it to each side. I have to translate it to each side because men and women speak different languages when it comes to communicating effectively together. Speak different languages. Women tend to communicate more with their words. Men tend to communicate more with their actions. And this is why women start to wonder what he's thinking about because he doesn't talk. But men are not raised talking. They're raised doing. And so I kind of have to translate it to the other side. And it's not until that translation happens that she starts to understand him and he starts to understand her. And sometimes, like I said, this is not an easy process. Sometimes she gets into her feelings about things. Sometimes he closes off and he shuts down. But it's on me, the coach, to say, listen, I'm not attacking you. I'm not saying you're at fault. This is just what she's trying to communicate. Or this is just what he is saying. No, he didn't tell you everything that he has done in the house to clean up the house. But he cleaned it up. You came home, you did not have to worry about it. You just had to observe it. That's his way of showing you, rather than just telling you, what he's going to do. Just little things like that. So communicating with your partner is key in reconciling. Now, in order to communicate effectively, you have to understand how the other receives and gives communication. This is why I'm saying a third party will help. Preferably somebody who is not biased and has worked through their own stuff, can come objectively. You want a coach or a counselor who listens more than talks. That's a key element of picking a good counselor or a coach. Somebody who listens, can take information in. And this is the important part of reconciliation. Lauren, what if they aren't willing to speak to someone else? Well, if they're not willing to go through the third party help step, are they really trying to have a relationship with you? If the relationship is on the rocks and it's not solving with just the two of you doing it, but they're not willing to talk to anybody, they're basically saying, nope, what we have now is good enough. And if that's not good enough, and you're actually letting them know, I think we need to get somebody else because I'm not happy here. And they're not willing to do it. Here's what I always recommend for couples like that. The one who wants to talk to the third party should talk to the third party first. So talk to a counselor, talk to your life coach first. Start to apply some of the steps that the counselor or the coach has for you. Start to apply those things. If that improves the relationship, your partner should see certain changes happening. And at some point, they'll get inquisitive. They'll get curious. Hey, you've changed. Where's this coming from? And then you can say, yeah, I started talking to a counselor. I started talking to a life coach or a relationships coach. And they gave me this, this, and this. I wasn't understanding this part about myself. I wasn't understanding that I was thinking certain things and so acting in a specific way. And now I realize that. Because here's the thing about it, Lauren. A lot of times the counseling part is just an attack on men. Or even the masculine dynamic. And so men don't want to go because who wants to go into a situation where they're just going to be attacked and told that they're wrong and not listened to? This is why I said in the beginning, accountability. Accountability. Look at the things that you have done wrong in the relationship. I'm the one that messed up, but I'm still wanting to fight and make it right. Well, then you're the one who needs the relationships coach. If that's the case. And that is part of the reconciliation process, Lauren. Investing time and money into making it right. Investing time and money into making it right. If you're not willing to invest time and money into making a change, do you really want to make a change? So yeah, seeking out that third party for help, a life coach, a counselor, a relationships coach, whatever, and communicating effectively with your partner, understanding how they give and receive communication. And your life coach should be able to help you with that. Should be able to help you with understanding how they receive communication. Because if you know how somebody receives communication, now you can effectively communicate with them where they understand. That's the point of communication. It's not to talk at somebody or tell somebody they're wrong or correct the way that they handle things. I'll give you an example of why I'm saying this, okay? I was in a session with a couple, young couple, 19 and 20 years old, okay? Young couple. And I was discussing how men and women communicate differently. Not that one is wrong, just that one is different. And I said the same thing that I'm saying to you guys. Men communicate more with actions. Women communicate more with words. And she turned to me, and we were on a virtual session. She turned to me. She said, yeah, how do I fix that? And my response to her was, you don't. It's nothing that needs to be fixed. It's something that needs to be understood. It's like saying, yeah, you speak English and I speak French. How do I fix the fact that you speak French? You don't. This is how I was raised. So either I need to learn English or you need to learn French, or we can use Google Translate. But it's nothing that needs to be fixed. Speaking French is not wrong. Men communicating with actions is not wrong. Women communicating with words, it's not wrong. It's just different. This is why I say understand how your partner gives and receives communication so that you can communicate with them effectively. Because communication is the great solvent. If you can understand why somebody feels upset about the relationship dynamic, truly why, not just like if you cheated, the cheating part by itself is not the ultimate issue in the relationship. It's not the cheating. It's the betrayal of trust. That's the ultimate problem underneath the cheating. You betrayed her trust, or you betrayed his trust. He trusted you to uphold a certain standard, and you didn't do that. And so now they don't know anything about you. So when it comes to things like cheating, if you're wondering why she's freaking out about, you saying you were going to pick up something and not doing it, it has nothing to do with the fact that you didn't pick the thing up. That's just the representative of the bigger problem. The bigger problem is the betrayal of trust. And this is why you need to communicate. For him, he said, actions show you who a person is and words show you who they pretend to be. And I think that's a little bit inaccurate. But for him, that's what communicates, because he was taught to communicate with actions. Does that make sense, Lauren? So, Lauren, if you look down at the bottom left, you should see a little paper airplane right next to where you put your comments in. Send me a message. I'll reach out to you after we get through this part, because if you need some life coaching or relationships coaching, I would welcome the chance to help you guys out with that. So let's move on to the next part. How to keep things from spiraling down again. How do you keep things from spiraling down again? So you and your partner want to reconcile. Let's say we're getting to the point where you're trying to repair your relationship, right? You need to have what I call a foundation conversation. A foundation conversation. A foundation conversation is a communication cycle with you and your partner where you set the foundation for your relationship. And if you're in a long-term relationship, your foundation needs to be on what you want, or what your partner wants, rather, from their partner. So if you're married, you need to understand what it is your husband wants from his wife. Or on the other side, if you are the husband, you need to understand what your wife wants from her husband. Now, if both of you are doing this correctly, one will ask what the other wants, and then the other will ask what the other wants. You should never, at any point in your foundation conversation, when they tell you what they want, you should never go, okay, cool, but I want this. Nope. You wait for them to ask you what it is that you want. When you're in a long-term relationship, you are in the service industry. You're in the service industry. You are a server. When have you ever gone into a restaurant and the waitress came in over to you and said, "Hi, can I take your order?" And you gave your order, and then she went, "Cool, but I want this." That would be unacceptable. Same deal. Same deal. Both of you are in the service industry. You are taking orders. I don't mean like a drill sergeant. I mean like a server. Hi, what is it that you are looking for from your girlfriend or your wife? What do you want from your wife? What do you want from your husband? And get specific. Do not allow vague answers. I want love, support. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody wants love and support. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who's disloyal, unloving, and unsupportive. Nobody wants that. Get specific. Great. How can I show you that I love and support you? In what way? What are the steps that I can take to show you that I love and support you? And make them get specific. This is so important. Not enough couples do this. This is so important. This is so important because these are the things that you're going to do actively in the relationship to keep it going. And if you don't understand what it is that your partner's looking for from their partner, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, how are you going to keep them happy? How are you going to keep them happy? That's step one. You need to have a foundation conversation and understand what it is that they want from their partner, which would be you. And then number two, the easiest part about this, you guys, the easiest part about this, just do that. Ask them what they want, get the specific answers, get the specificities of what they're looking for from their partner, what they want from their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, their whatever, and then just do what they said they want. This is why it's important to get the specifics, because I just want love and support. How are you supposed to do that? I want you to show me you love me by blank. I want blah, 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 blah. I want this, this, and this from my husband. Now, here's the asterisk here. If you ask somebody, if you're having this foundation conversation and you ask somebody what they want and they don't ask the same thing from you, get out of the relationship. And this is why things like this and having third parties are so important. Because if you have the right coach, they will keep you from being in a toxic relationship if you apply what they say. If you're having a foundation conversation with someone and they do not reciprocate and ask you what it is that you want, that means this is a one-sided relationship. They're looking to just take. They won't even realize this. They won't even realize that they're just taking. So I tell you to have these conversations and ask these questions as a safeguard for you as well. It's a safeguard for your relationship, but it's a safeguard for you as well. It helps you detect bad partners, bad relationships, one-sided relationships. So I'll go back over it again. How can you reconcile with your partner? Number one, you have to understand what happened in the relationship that caused it to spiral down. Number two, you have to understand what harm was caused from that happening. Number three, you have to be honest with yourself. Not how you want, wish, hope, whatever things to be, how things actually are. Number four, you have to take accountability for your part in causing the harm. For your part in causing the harm. Number five, seek out third-party help to help you heal from the damage. Anytime there's a breakup, both parties are damaged. Number five, communicate effectively with your partner. Number six, when reconciling, have a foundation conversation and remember you are in the service industry. If your partner does not reciprocate that question, get out of the relationship. And then number seven, just give your partner what they want and you'll keep them happy. Now I'm getting a couple of questions here, so I will field those. From Dragon, why should I get back with my partner when she only wanted me just for money? You shouldn't. If that's all she wanted you for, you shouldn't. The question is, why are you getting back with her? From Shakira, I still want my husband, but he wants out. He doesn't want to work it out. Okay, Shakira, there's your answer right there. Here's the thing, Shakira. He also has a right to say no, just like you do. He has a right to say no, just like you do. When he says no, you have to respect that. Just like if you would say no, you would expect him to respect that from you, correct? I'm not getting back with her, but she's crying and begging for me to not leave her. Here's the thing, Dragon. Why are you even in the position to be begged for? Just leave. Block her. Cut her off. You have the technology to make it so that she cannot contact you anymore. Shakira, I'm trying to, but it's so hard. No, it's not, Shakira. This is a sign, Shakira, that you do not respect that man. This is a sign that you do not respect that man. If he wants out, Shakira, give him the divorce. Every day that you don't give him the divorce, he's going to get more and more and more bitter towards you. And if he doesn't want to reconcile, this is all a moot point. What happened, Shakira? Why is your husband wanting out? What happened? And that's one of the things, you guys. You have to understand that the other side has just as much a right to say no as you do. It's not just about you all the time. He wants a child now after 20 years together, and I can't give him one. Well, Shakira, how long has he wanted a child, Shakira? Dragon, but here's my question. Is it my job to be her personal ATM and bank? Dragon, how old are you? How old are you, Dragon? Shakira, it goes back and forth, and I asked him years ago if he wanted me to see a doctor to get help. Shakira, my question was, how long has he wanted a child? How many years has he wanted a child? Well, while I'm waiting for those answers to come through, ladies, gents, you guys have to understand that your partners also have standards and preferences. I didn't hear your response to my question. Sorry, I stepped away. My question to you, Dragon, was how old are you? Shakira, I was willing to try for us, and I'm hurting too because I asked him a few times. Shakira, I will ask one more time. How many years has he wanted to have a child? How many years has he wanted to have a child? 33, going on 34. Okay, happy early birthday. Dragon, at what point in your life, in your upbringing, was it ever taught to you that men are an ATM for women? Okay, so how old are you now, Shakira? All right, Dragon. So why are you asking that question then? You're 47. Okay. So since you were 37, he's told you that he wanted a child. Why did you guys not do your best, even though it's tough? Because after 28, you lose 80% of your eggs, and every single year you lose more and more and more. Why, when he told you the first time, did you not do everything you could to have a child then? Whenever I told a woman I have no money to give her, she'd stop talking to me. Okay, so Dragon, you need to understand women and what they want from men. You need to understand women and what they want from men. You look down at the bottom left there, Dragon. There's a little paper airplane. Send me a DM. I'll reach out to you after we get through this part of the live. I tried, but I needed him too. What did you try, Shakira? Okay, perfect. I'll respond to you after we get through this part. And this is why I say that, Dragon. There's a difference between what women actually want and you being an ATM. And if that is the thing that makes them stop talking to you, then the people that you're attracting are the wrong kind of people, which means you don't qualify for the women that you actually want. And we'll talk about that later. Shakira, what else did you try? Besides unprotected sex, what else did you try? To give your husband a child when 10 years ago it would have been a lot easier. But men who only want one thing from them are the right ones? No, Dragon, we'll talk about it. You have a fundamental misunderstanding about women. You have a fundamental misunderstanding about women and what they want. It sounds like, Dragon, you were raised by a woman. Were you raised by your father? Like, did you have your father in your life? I'm still waiting for your response, Shakira. My father abandoned me for 33 plus years. Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds like that was also a message sent to you by your mother as well. And this is why you have a misunderstanding about women, what they want, and even men. Because you were never raised to be a man. Only men can do that. I would have to see a doctor because I need my reversal. My tubes are tied. Did you at what point, Shakira, did you get your tubes untied? But a good one would never only want a woman just for one thing. And that statement right there tells me that you were raised by a woman. Dragon. A good one. That's a woman's statement right there. They are the ones who always say real men or a good man or all this stuff. This is what I'm telling you. You have a fundamental misunderstanding about women. And I know that for a fact because I was raised by my mother. And I echoed the exact same sentiments until I learned. I had to learn about masculinity later on in life and what it actually means to be a man. It's not what your mother taught you. I didn't get them done, but I was willing to do it for us. But he said yes, then no. Okay, so Shakira, this is where you ran into a problem. You didn't listen to your husband. And for 10 years, he's wanted a child. And for 10 years, you knew that you could not have a child. So you didn't give him one. Now you're here. And this is the thing, Shakira. In this respect, when it comes to reproduction, life is unfair to women. A woman's reproductive prime is between the ages of 18 and 28. An adult woman's reproductive prime is between the ages of 18 and 28. If you don't have a child between the ages of 18 and 28, after age 28, you lose 80% of your eggs. But I wanted to, but I didn't want him to walk out on me with a sneaky, yeah, see? There you go. And you just base that decision on your fear. This is why I say you need third-party help. This is why I say you need third-party help. And to not be your own counsel. You did not listen to your husband, Shakira. You did not listen to your husband. You listened to your fear. Well, now, because you've listened to your fear, your husband wants to leave. And again, he never sees his wrong. Again, you're still blaming him. This is why I say you need third-party help. This is why I say you need third-party help. So I've learned to just give up on what love and happiness truly is. Another statement that says you were raised by your mom. Dragon, you don't even really understand what love and happiness truly is at this point. All you know is what you were told. That's all you know. Your issue, Dragon, is not that you're not supportive enough of women. Your issue is that you're not masculine enough to attract the right kind of woman to you. And when I say the right kind of woman, I mean the one that you're actually attracted to. You're not masculine enough to attract the kind of woman that you want. I blame both of us. Exactly, Shakira. I'm sorry, Sharika. I've been calling you the wrong name. Exactly, Sharika. Exactly. But you absolutely blame him more than yourself. Even in this broadcast, you said he goes back and forth. He needs to do this. I needed him to do this. He. Point the finger, point the finger, point the finger. Because of that, Sharika, and because you did not honestly listen to your husband, and because you did not honestly take accountability for your part in this, because you did not honestly take accountability for your part in this, because you did not honestly listen to your husband now wants a divorce. Because when it comes to the reproductive cycle, life is unfair to women. Your reproductive prime is between the ages of 18 and 28. A man can have a child with a woman all the way up until 60, 70 years old. It's not fair. It's not fair. I didn't create the rules. I'm just reporting the facts. So he wants a child. He's wanted a child for a decade. He's wanted a child for a decade. Since before COVID, he's wanted a child. Before COVID, he's wanted a child. And you knew your tubes were tied. And you could have gone and untied your tubes. Yes, it's It's not cheap, but it's not cheap to tie your tubes either. And he's told you for a decade he wants a child and you didn't listen. So now you're here. This is the result of your choices. When you don't listen to your husband, this is what happens. Sharika, let's flip the roles for a second. Okay? You wanted a child. Let's say you were the one who wanted the child. And he had a vasectomy that he could reverse. Those exist. Okay? He got the reversible vasectomy. And he did not do it for 10 years. How would that make you feel? Dragon, I'm the Chicago Wrestling Alliance Undisputed Universal Internet Champion. That was pretty funny, Dragon. It's pretty funny. I'm going to stand by his side. Sharika, you did not answer my question. And Sharika, I can tell just in this communication with you that you're a difficult woman to communicate with. You're a difficult woman to communicate with. Every time I ask you a question, you give me another different answer than what I ask. It's not can be, you are. That's who you are. You're a difficult woman to communicate with. You point the finger, you deflect, you don't like answering questions that make you feel bad, uncomfortable, whatever. I had to ask you 3 times how long your husband wanted a child. 3 times. I've asked you one question twice now. I'm going to stand by his side. That was not the question. The question was not, would you stand by his side or not? The question was, how would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? If he had a vasectomy that was reversible and you wanted a child, understanding that your reproductive prime is limited, and he didn't do it for 10 years, how would that make you feel? Exactly, Sharika. Would you feel like he respected you at all? You've been asking him for a decade for a child. He has a procedure that he could get reversed, and he didn't do it. Would you feel like he respected you or cared about your feelings or your desires, especially when it comes to children? Serious question. Hello, Penny. Welcome back. Yes, because I feel like it's not just one person to decide on something like that. No, it's not. And Sharika, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I say you have to be honest with yourself. If you'd wanted a child for 10 years and he didn't give you a child, you would raise hell because you wanted a child. And your time is limited. There's only a certain amount of time that you have to have a child before it becomes a health risk, a serious health risk for you. And you're going to sit here and honestly say you would not feel some type of way about that, especially when he had a procedure that he could get done to give you a child. You're telling me that would not affect you at all. Maybe I just need to accept being in an uncomfortable and unhappy relationship then. No, Dragon, you need relationship coaching and life coaching. That's what you need. I spoke with the doctor and they said I still have a chance. Now you see? Again, you did not answer the question. This is why I'm saying, Sharika, you're a difficult woman to communicate with. You're a difficult woman to communicate with. And that issue right there is going to cause 90% of your problems. You're still trying to paint yourself in a good light. You're still trying to remove the accountability. And as long as you're trying to do that, Sharika, you're going to have a problem. As long as you keep trying to do that, you're going to have a problem. Okay? I did not call you a bad woman. I did not say you were an evil person. I didn't. I didn't say you were a bad wife. I did not say it's all your fault. I did not say that. I just asked you simple questions. But because those questions, you took them in and your emotions got involved and you started thinking, well, this makes me look bad and I don't like that, you deflected them. You didn't respond. You just gave the answer you wanted to give. That makes you very difficult to communicate with. It's not an A to B conversation. It's an A to F, G, C, L, and everything gets misconstrued, and then we go off on tangents. No. We're going to stay right here. Because I'm calling you out on your bluff. You said yes, because it's not one person. It's not one person to do this and this and this. That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you if it was one person. I said, you're telling me that would not affect you at all if you've wanted a child for 10 years, understanding that the healthy part of your reproductive prime is a limited time, and 10 years puts you over that limited time. You wouldn't feel some type of way about that? And instead of answering, yes, you would, which you know you would, you said, I spoke with the doctor. That's what I'm saying. See? We keep it again. This is what I'm saying, Sharika. Your problem is not the fact that your husband wants a child and you can't do it. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. That's not your problem, Sharika. Am I a doctor? No, I'm not a medical doctor. Nope. Your problem, Sharika, is that you are a difficult woman to live with and communicate with. That's your problem. That's the issue. Sharika, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm telling you this, okay? It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. Your husband knows that you have not untied your tubes for 10 years. If he really wanted a child that bad, Sharika, he would have found another woman 5 years ago. If it was truly about the child, he would have found another woman 5 years ago. He knows me very well. He probably did. You know, see? I am not up here just spitballing. Your problem, Sharika, has nothing to do with the fact that you can't have children right now. It has everything to do with the fact that you are a difficult woman to get along with. And if you took accountability for your side in the relationship, stop trying to blame him. Just take accountability for what you can control, which is your end of this. You would have a better relationship with yourself. You'd have a better relationship. Let's just say you and your husband divorced with your next man. And you'd be happier. But because you are also difficult and you have to be right and you don't like taking accountability for your end of things, you're always going to have a problem. Because your situation here, After 20 years, you said it was 20 years, right? After 20 years, it has nothing to do with the child. It has everything to do with you. Because men do not want difficult women. When it comes to their wives, they want peace. Peace in the house. They do want children and families, don't get me wrong. Men do want children and families. But if he actually really was that steadfast about wanting a child, and it's been 10 years since you untied your tubes, he would have found another woman. And when I said that, you said, well, he probably did. That tells me everything I need to know right there about the type of woman you are. So I recommend for you, Sharika, you really focus on number 4 and 5. Healing and seek third-party help. And take accountability for your part in this. That's all you can control. He can take accountability for his part in this. But that's up to him. And I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to you. You take accountability for your part in this. As long as you keep looking to him for stuff and not being honest and truthful with yourself. Because you're not being honest and truthful with yourself right now. You're not being honest and truthful with yourself right now. As long as you keep doing that, Sharika, you're just going to have a problem with every good man that you come across. You're going to be left with the bad men who will cheat on you, who don't really care about you. That's all you're going to be left with, because that's all you will qualify for as long as you keep doing this. So that would be my recommendation for you, Sharika. Accountability, healing, and seek third-party help. That would be my recommendation for you, Sharika. Accountability, healing, and seek third-party help.